My name is Kaylin Huntress, and I use the law of attraction to make things manifest. If you've seen The Secret, you know that you get what you think about, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not. There's a lot of different ways to define the law of attraction. Like attracts like, what you resist persists. If you think in positive terms, you get positive results. If you think in negative terms, you get negative results. But my favorite definition comes from Earl Nightingale in his 1956 legendary sales recording, The Strangest Secret. He said, "We become what we think about." We become what we think about. This is the basis of the law of attraction. If you think in terms of success, you'll continue to succeed. If you think in terms of failure, if you're always looking for new ways that you can fail, you'll continue to fail. Life performs according to expectations. So what do you expect? The law of attraction is about more than just positive thinking, however. You can use it to manifest specific outcomes in your life. For instance, if you wanted to manifest more sales, my website, salesmanifestation.com, goes through techniques and exercises you could use to manifest more sales using the law of attraction. When I first started using these techniques, I didn't even know it. I started in sales when I was a teenager. I did telemarketing, I did door-to-door sales, I did fundraising, and then when I was in my 20s, I got into waiting tables. Waited tables for a number of years. And serving is a phenomenal way to learn about sales techniques. You have zero prospecting to do. People come and sit down in front of you to listen to your pitch. They never get mad if you upsell them, and you always close the deal. You can keep 4 or 5 deals going on at the same time, and you are immediately compensated based on how well every deal went. For those of you who haven't waited tables before, it's a bit like a theater performance. You have to get everything ready before the customers come in. Silverware needs to be polished. Tables need to be set. Beverages need to be prepared so that they can be grabbed at a moment's notice when it gets busy. In the business, we call this side work. Now, at the beginning of every shift, a server has 30 to 90 minutes of side work to do. It was during my side work time I noticed something curious. If I was optimistic about the evening, if I expected to make a lot of money, I tended to have a pretty good night. If I was in a grumpy mood, if I allowed minor things to irritate me, I tended to have a pretty poor night financially. So I decided to experiment with this. I made my side work into my happy time. I cracked jokes with everybody I saw. I sang songs as I polished the silverware. I danced around the whole restaurant during my side work time. And within 3 weeks, I made $400 in a single night. This began to happen regularly. Nothing had changed in the menu or the clientele, but I was somehow able to magically attract those rare tables of extraordinary tippers that had suddenly become commonplace. I wholeheartedly attribute my success to my primitive understanding of the law of attraction. When The Secret came out in 2006, I was finally able to put a name to this phenomenon. I read the books of all the speakers featured in The Secret. I studied the books that they studied when they were learning how to do this. And I developed a series of exercises that I found useful in making things manifest. So watch the next few videos and I'll go over these exercises with you.